Vince Homebrew coming at ya. Well, it's time for me to continue with some of these fall beers. I've done a few of the Oktoberfest. I really do enjoy those, but I haven't gotten into any of my pumpkin ales, and I enjoy those as well. Christian's the real pumpkin fanatic. I wish he was here, but he's just too busy, and I can't hold off any longer. Today, I'm going for the Great Pumpkin Ale. That's the playoff of the Great Pumpkin from Peanuts and Linus going out in the field. And this one comes from, and I'm going to say it correctly this time, Elysian, something like that. Here's the beer. Elysian is a reference to heavenly, divine, or paradise-like. But here you go. It's a fun-looking bottle for sure. This is an 8.1% beer at 20 IBUs. It is an Imperial Pumpkin Ale. So we're going to get into this one. I can already smell it coming out. Look at that. That's a beautiful color. It really has got that beautiful light pumpkin-like color, doesn't it? You know, it's an amber with some reddish hues, but it really has some of the orange tones as well. Very thin head, not much head. All right, let's get a nose on this one. Oh, wow, that is super fragrant, but not overwhelmingly fragrant. Oh man, okay, they did a good job with the malts and so forth in this. I'll mention those real quick. They had Pale, they had Munich, Cara Helles, Cara Vienna, Cara Munich, and Crisp 45L. And the only hops that they mentioned were putting Magnum in as bittering, so they didn't have any late hop additions. I get some cinnamon off this, but I also get like that, the little red hot candies, that cinnamon red hot candies, you know, a little extra spice. Oh wow, this does smell like pumpkin pie. This really does have that pumpkin pie type of aroma. That's nice. A little more spicy, like I say, on the red hot side, but oh wow. So you do pick up some of the clove off of that, and some definitely the nutmeg off of that. Allspice is kind of a harder thing to pick out when you've cooked it. Allspice really has this whole realm of flavors that you get. And the reason I mention allspice is because they did put allspice in this. We'll mention a few other things before we get to the taste. They roasted pumpkin seeds and added them to the mash, and they also added pumpkin itself into the mash, into the boil, and into the fermenter. So at all 3 points they added pumpkin, and they spiced this with cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, and allspice. Wow, and it's nice. You get a little bit of breadiness off of it too, just slightly. It makes you think of, like I said, pumpkin pie, or like some people eat those sweet potato pies, and oh yeah, it's a really nice aroma. In fact, my mouth's starting to water a little bit. So, cheers. Oh wow. Oh wow. Wow. Okay, wow. This is a really nice beer. This is really nice. I do get a bit of the almost feeling like I am drinking a pumpkin pie with this. Not so much of the crust, though there is a light bit of breadiness on it that helps, but oh man. I hardly know how to describe this one. It's quite different from all the other pumpkin beers I've had. Okay, first of all, it has a light feeling. I'd say it's a medium body, but it has a light feel to it. The carbonation is on the low to medium side, so it's really appropriately carbonated. You get a little bit of the bitter on the back, but it's not heavy. It's just enough to balance out these flavors. Okay, sure, you get cinnamon, and you get the clove in that. I think the allspice is probably providing some of that feeling of heat on it. You definitely get nutmeg, which probably also adds to the heat. If you're not familiar with nutmeg, it actually makes me think a little bit more like mace, like there's some mace in it, which is kind of the pulp that's around the inside the shell, but around the seed of the nutmeg. Makes me think a lot of mace. At the beginning, you really get hit with that more of the pumpkin pie type flavor. So the breadiness hits early on the front side. And I think that they did a really good job with the malts because besides the pale malts, which I assume is the majority of it, but they've got the Munich, the Cara Helles, the Cara Vienna, the Cara Munich. And those are going to help bring in some other flavors because you get like a hint of maple on this as well. And that kind of interesting bready feeling that could lead you toward being more like a pumpkin pie. Give you some of that breadiness, like I say, but a little bit of maple. So it makes me think of, you know, you got hints of like an Oktoberfest type of a thing in here. Wow. I'd almost swear the egg was in there too, because, you know, when you make I make fresh pumpkin pies. Just so you know, this is something that I do every year. I cook up a pumpkin and I'll make a fresh pumpkin pie. And part of it makes me think of when I'm mixing it up when it's raw. Because I have to do taste testing on that to know I've got it right. And I'm getting some of that flavor, which is so interesting, so unique that you're getting those kinds of flavors off of a beer. It's just surprising to me. I think I'm going to be trying it again this year. I think I liked this better than the pumpkin. Wow, as far as tasting like pumpkin pie, I think they probably add sugar. It feels like there's sugar added into this. And I'm also kind of wondering if they add some brown sugar, because the flavors that I'm getting off of this, it's not that it's a strong brown sugar flavor, but I get a hint of that. But because the balance of these flavors, I would expect they probably do add some brown sugar. Wow, that is fantastic. All right, pumpkin beers. First, we got to rate it on style. This is an Imperial pumpkin. I love Imperials, but for a pumpkin beer, probably would help if you liked pumpkin pie. I have to put this way up there for me. I mean, I've got to rate this high. I think that for a pumpkin ale, I'm giving this a 97. This is stupendous. This is shocking. It's just one of the better pumpkin ales I've had. It's just absolutely fantastic. Overall, you know, overall it's going to be a little different story. I'm not a huge pumpkin fan. I'd rather have the Oktoberfest for the fall, but, you know, this one's just shockingly good. It's still going to be excellent in the overall category. I'm going to give this a 93 on my overall. This was certainly not expected by me. This was complete shock. I've heard it was good, but I had no idea. For me, I do like my pumpkin pies, and this is one hell of a beer. This is a damn good beer. I'm just telling you, this year's is different. You know, they change every year. You need to get this. You need to try this one. This is from Elysian Brewing, or some of us call it Elysian, and it's out of Seattle, Washington. Our neighbors, just north of us. Fantastic beer. Get yourself a bottle. That's what I'm saying. Because life is too short to drink cheap beer. And I will see you, by the way, in the next beer review. But I'm going to be sipping on this. Cheers.